My name's Sophia Michael and I am a hair and makeup trainee for TV and film. Ever since I was young I always wanted to do makeup. I grew up with family in the film industry, so I always knew that that was a possibility. I found out about a course, a film and TV course for makeup. Before the course I was lucky enough to have some days work experience on a film production, and doing that's when I was like, wow, this is it, this is definitely what I want to do. The film and TV course really helped me when I did the work experience, and then I got asked to do a few days trainee before I'd done my course. Even though I'd done makeup before, it wasn't like what I was working on, and that really showed me that I needed to do a course. Because, for example, they say, oh, could you block that wig? I'd never heard of a block before, never knew how to block a wig, or they'd ask for certain products and I'd think, what's that? So you learn everything, and also the teachers that teach you on these courses are from the industry, so they have knowledge that they can give you, and teach you what the industry is like, the hours, the set etiquette, and everything that you wouldn't know before going onto a film set, and you would need to know. I knew somebody on the production that I did before, and I was lucky enough to be asked back onto that production as a trainee. So I made some contacts through that, and on the job I am now, they working on that job and they've asked me back, so it's networking really. And here I am, still on that job and still really enjoying it. You start as a trainee, and then you go into a junior, and then you go on to an artist. For me, and from other trainees that I've met, you have to be a good people person, be able to speak to people, because that's what you're doing, and you need to be on time, actually very early. You want to be there before everybody else to make sure everything's running smoothly, organised. Always say yes, but you should always want to say yes. Efficient. You want to make it as easy as possible for the people that you're working for. Continuity is a very large part. You need to make sure the continuity matches for your calls that you do. Everything needs to be organised. So, for example, for a TV show, we have different folders for each episode. You need to make sure that's all completely organised, so when you have a call, or if you have pickups and you've got an episode that you need to find, you need to know where that all is. You need to be able to read a call sheet. You need to always think a few steps ahead. So if you have a call sheet that you've seen and you know, let's say on Tuesday you are picking up on a fight scene, you need to remember, oh okay, we use Bondos for this, so you need to make sure that that's all prepared. Just like I said, making everything as easy for people as possible. If they need help with anything, always standing by, watching, making sure to know when you're needed and when you're not needed. Not being too overbearing, but always being there. I'm working in a crowd room, so there's multiple people. You have your call team, and then also other people that come in for your busy calls, so you're always meeting people, and building up really lovely relationships. Be really passionate about what you want to do. It's long hours, and it's long hours, and it's not easy, but if that's what you want to do, you'll love it. So an average work day, your time on set is 10.5 hours, or a 10-hour continuous day, and then that's obviously not including the call that you do or the D-rig, but when you enjoy it so much that I do, it doesn't seem that long, and you're busy and you're doing stuff you love, so actually it's not long enough. I've learnt more on this job than I did doing a course. You learn your fundamentals on a course, and I say it would be hard for me to go in without knowing the stuff that I learnt on my course, but you perfect those skills. And also watching, you're seeing these different looks made up every morning, and with many different artists who all have different skills and different ways of doing it, and who are all willing to teach you and show you their ways, and even let you have a go and do it. So yeah, you learn a lot. I think hair is very important. My 16-week course touched on barbering for a week. We did period hair, we did contemporary hair, but it wasn't in depth. And for me, I think in-depth course on barbering is needed, and hair. Yeah, hygiene is very important. We need to make sure that all stations are clean, hand washing, gowns washed, brushes have to be cleaned in between every use. But all artists that come in know that, so they often care for their own kit. The job that I'm doing now, I wouldn't be able to get to the places that I can to be able to drive. And as a trainee, if you're asked to do something, maybe, I don't know, have to run somewhere to pick something up, or if you have to go on location, you need to be able to do that yourself and not rely on anybody else to do that. Because you might be asked, oh, tomorrow can you go here? And if you can't because you don't have a car, it's very restricting. On location, there's a bit more responsibility on. It can be longer hours. It's also working somewhere that you're not used to. You don't know where everything is. You've got to set up everything. You need to, as a trainee, set up and make sure that you know everything about the location, because the artists will be the ones that ask you. But it's also nice to have a change on location compared to the studios. So I've only touched really crowd rooms at the moment, but I'm really enjoying it, and seeing my boss, my supervisor, running it looks amazing. And I'd love to do something like that, but again, I've not touched all areas of this job yet. But I know it will. I don't know if I want to be able to be a personal or a designer or crowd supervisor. But at the moment, I'm enjoying where I'm going, whether that just be building up at the moment and seeing what's happening. But yeah, we'll see. Ask me in 5 years.
Every day is different, long, fun. I'm Amanda Foster, and I'm a makeup artist for film and television. We would come in very early in the morning with different makeup artists making different actors up. The designer will tell you what look they would like, and then we create that look. You would make up your artists for those scenes for the day. We go on set with them and look after them all day until they're finished. After every single artist you have made up, your brushes have to be cleaned, or their brushes go into their particular set bag and are only used on them. And at the end of the day, everything has to be cleaned, or very early the next morning. That's your role as a makeup artist. In a studio, it's nice and warm, and no wind, and there's no rain. There's no logistical problems like there is on location, where you could be in the pouring rain all day outside, and you've got to look after that actress. You've got to look after yourself. You've got to be able to carry your kit around various different locations on minibuses quite a lot. So that's the big difference. It's quite hard, but it's fun. If you're on location, you have to get yourself there, so you need a car. You need to be able to drive quite long distances, navigate your way around car parks, and you need to be able to carry your kit from your car to a minibus perhaps, and then that minibus will take you to whichever crowd marquee you might be working in. My kit is everything. It's been bought by myself. We purchase everything and have to replace everything if it needs replacing, so it is quite costly, but generally you get kit hire on most jobs, so you get a percentage per day for your kit, so it's a rate plus kit. I've got little separate bags, so if I'm going out on a 40s job, I've got a bag for that with colours for 40s. I've got one for 50s, one for 60s, one for 70s, and now the 80s is a period. And then hair, you've got your standard kit, which is hairdryer, tongs, all sorts of electrical equipment. If you're on a period drama and you're doing a daily, so you're just in and out, perhaps doing 1 or 2 days, you would need perhaps 3 sets of heated rollers, 3 sets of hot sticks, depending on how many people you're doing with, and that's very heavy to carry around when you train as a hairdresser. It's really helpful because I learnt everything to do with hair. I haven't had to do a barbering course, although I would like to brush up on a barbering course, but basic barbering I can do. Just working with all types of hair when you train as a hairdresser is really helpful, for particularly when you go into period hair. The last production I worked on, there were just hundreds of hair pieces made for that particular production, and all of those had been fitted, so we have a reference to that when we're doing them. But they all have to be redressed at the end of the day, so that adds to the day. The ability to be able to improvise in a situation is really important, because you might be in the middle of nowhere or standing on the edge of a cliff and you haven't got something, because you can't have everything with you every single time. There is a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of different schedules and scripts. The script comes out, then the script gets amended, and then there's schedule amendments, script amendments that lead to more scheduling amendments. The hours are long and the jobs are long, and you can't just ask for days off when you feel like it, because you need to stay on that job. You need to have the continuity, and you have to have the stamina to work for long filming days on long jobs. You can dip in and out of doing dailies if you've got children, which makes it easier, and it's not so stressful, because if you have to leave or you can't do that day, you kind of are replaceable. You're not so replaceable if you're looking after an actress, a main actress, and you're doing something quite complicated makeup and hair wise, and they're very used to having you. It's difficult to not continue making them up. I think it's the most important thing to be a team player and to be able to read people and to be quite patient. You just have to all look after each other, because it's almost like you're moving in with people for, let's say it's a 5-week job, so you're moving into a makeup bus. It's like moving in with somebody, because the hours are so long, so you're kind of essentially living together, so you have to find a way of working together, so you all kind of have to look out for each other and be patient with each other.